Welcome back, everybody, to my goldfishing playtest of my Imoti Celebrant of Bounty Pauper EDH deck. I created a full deck tech for this build, and I will have that link down in the description below if you want to check out what this deck is aiming to do. The short summary is that we are looking to play big stompy creatures by powering out a lot of ramp and card draw, just generating a lot of Simic good stuff, and in order to cast our poster boy for the deck, Colossal Dreadmaw, and its upgrade, Colossal Dreadmask, which recently came out in Modern Horizons 3. A quick note too, I had some green screen recording issues in the prior recording, so we're going to try without the green screen effects for this particular video just to see if it looks better, and I would be welcome to any feedback about that if you want to leave a comment. So without any further ado, let's hop into the playtester here. So we are looking for 3 lands and potentially some ramp. Now we have a cultivate, we only have 1 land, and so I think I would send this one back. We have here, perfect, 3 lands. We have a tutor spell, a ramp spell, a fight spell, and a removal spell. So this is basically the perfect opener. So I'm going to go ahead and kick us off here by drawing our first card. So we will play a forest turn 1 and pass. Then we're going to play an island and probably run out our voracious varmint because we want to use up all of our mana as we can. We'll play our second island here, and then I think we will actually play our Springbloom Druid because this will allow us to have the lands enter tapped, and we can actually use the Wood Elves to have a forest enter untapped possibly in the future if we wanted to ramp for net cost 2 mana. So Springbloom Druid will sack the island and we'll search for perhaps a forest end. Actually, maybe just 2. No, we definitely want to a forest and an island because those double blue pips can be a problem later in the game. Okay, so we're doing good here. I think we didn't draw a land, so we definitely need to ramp out our Wood Elves, and then we can use that forest to play an Elysian Caryatid. So let's tap our blue, blue, green. We'll run out our Wood Elves, excuse me, and search up a forest, and that will enter untapped. And then we'll cast for 2 our Elysian Caryatid. Boy, this is just a perfect opener, folks. You cannot get much better than this particular opener. So by turn 5, we now have access to our 5 mana. I did not draw another land, unfortunately, so we would probably actually maybe want some card draw in order to make that land drop, now that I think about it. I think the move here is to just run out our Imoti and hope that we cascade into a card draw spell. Now, one of the assumptions I'm going to make for this playtesting is that we only keep Imoti on the battlefield for 2 turns. She tends to be hated out, and she tends to be pretty frail at only 1 toughness. So I think we'll just go ahead and sort of keep track of the turns that she's been on the field. And we hit a Steve off of her cascade, which we'll immediately crack to grab another forest so we can cast our 6 drops. All right, so turn 6, we're looking pretty good here, and we have a lot of options. So let me sort our cards by mana value. So we are going to put the higher end cards on the left and the lower end on the right. So we can run out a 6-drop and get a cascade trigger off of Imoti. We can play a Crash of Rhino Beetles for 5 that won't trigger Imoti. We can hold up a counter spell. We can search for something. We can draw a crap load of cards with Keep Watch, or we can fight something. Now, we don't have a lot of fighting creatures on the field yet. We can also crack our Voracious Varmint to destroy something, and we can tap Elysian Caryatid. So I think if we actually play out our Topiary Panther, we will get the Cascade trigger, and that will turn on our Elysian Caryatid. So maybe we actually will be able to crack the Voracious Varmint, or then play our fight spell. So I think we want to just sequence this to be pretty efficient. So we will go ahead and play that Topiary Panther. We will get the Cascade trigger off of Imoti, so we're looking for something with 5 or less. And unfortunately, we get Gift of the Viper. I'll put these back on the bottom and shuffle. So put a +1/+1 counter, a reach counter, and a death touch counter on target creature and untap it. So I think in response to the cascade, so let me think about this. So Topiary Panther hasn't entered yet because it's on cast. So Elysian Caryatid, unfortunately, is not able to tap for 2 in order for us to be able to untap it. So I think what we might want to do is actually just generate for ourselves a really good blocker. You can combine Death Touch with Trample to allow our trample creatures to deal more damage by essentially assigning only 1 point of damage, which is considered lethal to any blockers. But I think that is probably worth it at this point to just generate just a nice blocker here for ourselves. So I think we'll just go ahead and put the Gift of the Viper onto perhaps our Springbloom Druid. Actually, we'll just move it over here, and I'll just keep it. I'll just keep the instant on the field just to denote that it has a +1/+1 counter, a Death Touch counter, and a Reach counter on it. All right, and then so now Topiary Panther will enter. Elysian Caryatid can now tap for 2 mana. So I'm going to assume that there is a problematic creature that we have to remove, and so we will do a bite spell targeting the Topiary Panther to destroy something on our opponent's field. All right, so we'll move to turn 7. We now have so Shardolin Dragon was technically on the bottom. I'm actually going to put this back into the deck and shuffle because technically I'm only able to put cards on within my deck and then shuffle it in order to put it on the bottom, in quotes. So I'll actually send this back and we'll just get a new card off of that. Okay, so we drew a forest, so we'll play that. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then Elysian Caryatid will tap for 8, 9 mana. So we have 9 mana to work with, and I think we don't have any more cascade triggers ready off of Imoti, so I think this is where we actually want to swing in for a lot of damage here, and I think we'll swing in both of our Wood Elves and even perhaps our Voracious Varmint. I think we do swing in with our Voracious Varmint at the potential risk of it dying and not getting that Destroy trigger just to be able to draw that extra card. So we'll actually, let's see, in case we draw a blue creature or something here, I think we want to keep up 1 blue, so we'll cast Keep Watch, draw a card for each attacking creature, and that will be 3 as we're in combat. And then in second main phase, we will then, let's see, have I played a land? I don't think I did draw a forest. Yep, and I played a forest. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in our second main phase to cast Isperia Skywatch. And when ETBs detain target creature and opponent controls, and we will go ahead and cascade off of that with Imoti, and we're looking for something with 5 or less. Farhaven Elf, and then we'll put these on the bottom. So when this enters, search our library for basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and we will grab ourselves an island, and that will enter tapped. Okay, and I think it's probably safe to assume that Voracious Varmint died, Wood Elves died, and our Topiary Panther probably survived, so I think we'll just keep that on the field. And then I think during our opponent's turns, we will assume that Imoti has been removed, given that 2-turn limitation. And then we'll also assume that Springbloom Druid has had to block here with a Death Touch creature, with people seeing how much value we have been able to generate. All right, so we'll move into turn 8 with our board significantly reduced. Intentionally, so that we can continue to sort of test the resilience of the deck. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana on turn 8. So we have 11 to work with. So we can certainly recast Imoti for, let's see, so she would cost 7, which would mean we would have 4 up, and we could potentially cast the Fierce Empath. So I think we actually want to recast Imoti. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm thinking. We'll tap it like that. We'll keep the 1 blue up in case we want to cast our Theft of Dreams. So Imoti will get a Cascade trigger, so we'll go ahead and look for something here. So Kodama's Reach will grab us both. Actually, we'll just grab 2 islands off of that, or actually probably just an island and a forest. I don't think we need much else. The island will enter tapped, and we'll keep the forest in our hand. And then let's see, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 to work with. So I think we want to do a Fierce Empath to just get our best creature card with CMC 6 or greater. and that will cause us to tap the Elysian Caryatid. Let's see. So Fierce Empath, what do we actually want to search? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we do have Crash of Rhino Beetles for next turn. That is incredible. Okay, so what do we grab with Fierce Empath? I think we maybe want, what's our best beater in the deck? Let's actually go search through our little our deck list here. Maybe an Annoyed Altasaur. I'm thinking Annoyed Altasaur. And, oh, you know what? We want Ulamog's Crusher. We always want Ulamog's Crusher. Who am I kidding? All right, so let's grab our Ulamog's Crusher for that removal. And then, let's see. So that was the Cascade and Fierce Empath. So then we have to go next. And then, let's see, we're going to run out our Forest. And I think what we're going to do is play our Crash of Rhino Beetles, which is a 15-15. And then we're going to hold up a Forceful Denial, assuming that somebody will try to target Imoti. And I think we're just going to go ahead and assume that we cast that on somebody's turn, and we get a Cascade for 5. So that the Rhino Beetles cost us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Forceful Denial, which leaves us 3 remaining. And so let's actually do this first. We'll use our 3 remaining first. So that plus Elysian Caryatid, the Theft of Dreams. We'll assume we draw, I don't know, like 3 cards off of Theft of Dreams. And then we'll resolve our Forceful Denial trigger on somebody else's turn. So we'll get a Cascade off of that. Borrowing 100,000 arrows, assume we draw 3 again. We'll discard that. And then now we go into turn 10 with a giant amount of power and toughness on the board and an absolutely stacked grip of cards here. We've got 3, 6, 9, 10 cards. So with plenty more to keep us going here. Plus we have an Ulamog's Crusher in hand. We've got Wickerbow Elder to get rid of problematic artifacts and enchantments. We can get Canal Courier back for more card draw, so on and so forth. So I'm going to consider this probably lethal by about turn 10 to 12. Pauper EDH games tend to be a little bit slower, and so while this isn't necessarily lethal to get rid of all of our opponent's life totals, it is definitely enough to take out one person, and then, if you assume turn 11 to take out another person, I think that we can consider that lethal by turn 11, assuming that there's been some chip damage thrown around. So we'll go ahead and Goldfish this one more time just to see if we can produce the same results here. So we have 4 islands. We have a nice ramp piece with Elysian Caryatid, and then we've got a fight spell, so I think that's pretty much perfect. So we'll go ahead and draw our first card on turn 1. We are absolutely flooded with islands here, so we'll go ahead and go next to turn 2. Go Island, Elysian Caryatid, and then we have 4 potential mana. So I think we'll just go ahead and cast the Cultivate, and we will grab ourselves a Forest onto the field and a Forest into our hand. So that will enter. And then we'll go to turn 4. So we can cycle Generous Ent for a land. However, we have plenty of lands in hand. So I think we'll actually hold on to this as a key piece to use to cascade with Imoti. So turn 4, we're going to go ahead and play our land here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana at our disposal. We'll go ahead and cast Imoti off of that. Unfortunately, still not turning on Elysian Caryatid for the extra 2 mana, but we'll have a cascade trigger off of Imoti to resolve. So we're looking for something. Here we go. Hit Voracious Varmint, and Timberland Ancient will go to the bottom. Then we'll go next, and we'll just assume that we actually use this to sack it to destroy something really quick. Assuming that there's something problematic on the board we have to get rid of. Then let's see. So we did draw into an Aether Snipe, which we can get an Imoti trigger off of with the Evoke ability. So if we actually, let's see. Let me think about this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And let's see, turn 5. So I think we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. So with 6 mana, we can certainly get an Imoti Cascade trigger. I don't think we have enough to play Aether Snipe quite yet. So here's what I want to do, because I think we want to actually just play out the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. possibly up to 8 mana with Elysian Caryatid activated. Maybe we actually just play the Striped Riverwinder to use up all 7 of our mana. I think that's the play here. So we'll go ahead and cast for 7 mana our Striped Riverwinder, which has hexproof and is a 5/5, and we'll cascade into something with 6 or less. So Eureka Moment, perfect. We'll go ahead and shuffle that. So draw 2 cards, and you may put a land card onto the battlefield. So we'll do that, and then that goes in the graveyard. And then we have 1 mana to work with here. Do I want to cycle the Generous End? I think I do with that mana to continue to play out those lands because we have plenty of Cascade fuel in our hand. So we'll actually grab a Forest off of that. All right, and we'll go into turn 6. We'll drop said Forest. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. Okay, so 10 mana. We've got 4 cards in our graveyard, just looking at the Treasure Cruise. And I definitely want to play out. So I think the move here is to go Wild Growth into Aether Snipe, into Shardle and Dragon. And I think we, excuse me, depending on if we have to cast or get rid of something, if we want to cast Cosmic Hunger, we can certainly do so. And I think we actually want to just hold on to Treasure Cruise for now to allow ourselves to fill our graveyard a little bit more, and because we have 6 cards in hand. So let's actually, and then I guess we do have to follow our own rule. So we're going to assume that Imoti has been sent back to the command zone. So that actually changes the equation just a little bit. We can certainly ramp with Wild Growth for 1, so let's actually do that. Let's do that. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana still. 10 mana to work with, which would allow us to actually recast Imoti and cast the Aether Snipe. So let's just recast Imoti. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She has a Cascade trigger herself, looking for something with 4 or less. Overgrowth, okay. We're working with some more ramp. Put those on the bottom. Overgrowth will attach to this island. And then we are going to let's see. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. 5 mana. Okay, so I think we go Aether Snipe. We evoke it. So we need blue, and we're going to tap this so we have 1 green floating. I'll have to remember that. So blue, and then 1 green floating. Actually, let's just do it this way. The Overgrowth is tapped, but just for tracking purposes, we'll end up using it. Actually, we'll just tap it. So we have 2 green floating. Okay, so Aether Snipe is going to be evoked, and we'll go to the graveyard, but we will get an Imoti trigger off of that. So we're going to cascade into Crash of Rhino Beetles, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We only have 8 lands at the moment, so it is not turned on for the 15/15. And then with our 2 remaining mana, I think we're going to use that Cosmic Hunger in our main phase to destroy something on our opponent's boards. And we will go next into turn 7. So now we have Arcane Denial to hold up here to protect Imoti, which I think we want to be doing. But oh my goodness, do we have so much mana to work with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mana on turn 7, and we can delve for 6 for our Treasure Cruise. So I think, but we do want Walk with the Ancestors to return something to our hand. Let me look at what we have in our graveyard. So maybe we actually return the Aether Snipe to our hand off of the Walk with the Ancestors. So let me pull that out of the graveyard and just keep it here for a moment. As I consider what we're doing. So let's see. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so 13 minus 5 is still 8. And then we have Aether Snipe. Okay, so I think the play is to do Walk with the Ancestors into Aether Snipe into Treasure Cruise. So let's do that. So we're going to do Walk with the Ancestors, discover 4. Aether Snipe is still in the graveyard here. So we'll discover 4, which is equal to CMC 4 or less. Let's do that. Okay, so quick study, draw 2, which is perfectly acceptable. So we'll cast that and draw 2, and then we'll put that into the graveyard, and then we actually return, now we have to return the card that we wanted back to our hand. Okay, so then Aether Snipe will return. Then we will, so that cost a total of 1, 2, 3, or let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we need to cast our Aether Snipe, and we will evoke it for 3. So that will trigger our Imoti. So let's see. So that will be 1, 2, 3, and I think we only have 1 blue held up here. So we will get that Cascade, and this will be evoked. We will return something to our owner's hand, to its owner's hand. Bite down on crime. Okay, so target creature you control gets +2/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature. So it's a nice bite spell. We will target, I don't know, the Striped Riverwinder or something to destroy another thing off of our opponent's boards, creating just a safer board state. We haven't had a ton of offensive advantage here. I think we really want to be getting out some more big boys. So let's see. So that was the 4 mana. What did I just do? Aether Snipe, and we get the bite spell. Okay, so then that let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 remaining here. I think we actually delve for... So we can either hold up Arcane Denial or use our Treasure Cruise, and I think we want to maybe, because we don't have anything that really needs to be countered at this point in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's see, turn 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I can play my land here. 4, 5, 6. I'm not quite sure if I played a land for this turn, but we'll just go ahead and assume that we can't cast the Shardolin Dragon just to be conservative. A little bit of issues tracking that. Okay, so we'll go ahead and cast our Treasure Cruise. So let's see. So we'll delve for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll keep the Voracious Varmint and the Aether Snipe in our graveyard. So we'll actually delve these cards here. Okay, Cultivate. So that's 7 in our graveyard. Treasure Cruise, draw 3. All right, and we'll go into turn 8, and then we can play an island. So that's a total of 10 lands, I think. So I think we have our Crash of Rhino Beetles turned on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we are going to be able to double spell. So we are going to cast 2 6-drops, and then we're going to hold up Arcane Denial. So I think we'll just do Colossal Dreadmaw. We'll cascade into something with 5 or less. Unfortunately, we hit a counter spell, so that's going to be a brick. Is it a May? Yes, you may cast it. Okay, so then this will go on the bottom. Counter spell. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay. So counter spell will go on the bottom, which we'll accomplish with a shuffle, and then we will cast our Asperia's Skywatch, or maybe we actually do the Canal Courier for Monarch. So let's get another Cascade. Oh, and we got to reshuffle because that was technically on the bottom. My apologies. We'll get a Wood Elves. So now we have our Crash of Rhino Beetles turned on officially, if we weren't sure about it before. And so Canal Courier. So now we can hold up 2 with our Arcane Denial. We're going to assume that we use it on our opponent's turn to counter something, and then we will draw a card at the end of our turn for Monarch, and then we'll go ahead and cast our Arcane Denial, and then draw a card. And then by turn 9, we have a 15/15, a 6/6 with trample, a, let's see, 1/1, a 1/1, Imoti, a 5/5, and a 3/5 that's unblockable. And now we can continue to play lands and double spell our way into more value. So we can cast our Asperia's Skywatch and Topiary's Panther, and then we have mana left to cast our Borrowing 100,000 Arrows, which will probably draw us more cards. So let's just do that one more time. Topiary Panther will play out the turn, and we will get a Utopia Sprawl. Okay. Then that will enter. Then we'll cast the Asperia's Skywatch, Cascade for 5 or less. Flight of Fancy, draw 2 cards. We will attach that to, I don't know, something, maybe our Striped Riverwinder, and then we'll draw 2 cards off of that, and then that cost us 12 mana, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana to work with still. So we can then cast. Wait, did I say 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I guess we do have 7, so we can triple spell off of Imoti. This is kind of ridiculous. We'll cascade into another thing here. And we'll add Kodama's Reach. Sure, why not? All of the ramp on time. So here you can get a sense for kind of just the disgusting things that we can do with Cascade as long as Imoti stays on the battlefield. And of course, we have enough mana next turn to then cast our Lorien Revealed, draw 3, borrowing 100,000 arrows, draw 3. And meanwhile, we are just casting more things and removing things off of our opponent's boards. So that, I think, was a good example. So again, by about turn 10 or turn 11, we're able to assemble enough power and toughness on board as to threaten life totals for lethal. So that is my Imoti Celebrant of Bounty Pauper EDH deck. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it. And if you haven't already checked out my deck tech, feel free to check that out in the link below. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe. I make more deck techs with Goldfish companion videos that I release alongside them. So that is the video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and hopefully I will see you all in the next one.